Welcome back to my cave, humans. It's time to check out Baalf's $10 shopping cart. In this video, I check out 5 different Nintendo Switch games that I managed to grab for $2 each. Either they were on sale or that's the default price. But the bottom line is that I spent $2 each on them. Alright, let's look into the shopping bag and see what we got. Oh, look what our first game is. Toon Shooters 2: The Freelancers. Out of all games on this list, this is the only one that genuinely costs $2 by default. The rest of the ones I got on sale. Alright, let's check this bad boy out. Alright, to start things off, this game is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. You start by choosing a level, then picking your favorite character. Honestly, Otis and Big Ted are the only characters I really care about because they're the least human. And then you can buy upgrades and power-ups and whatnot to make the level easier. So if you buy too many, it ends up being too easy on earlier difficulties. And shoot 'em up! Finally, we get some music after a lot of deadpan silence. The notable thing about this game is that you fire automatically. It puts less strain on the gamer's thumb, eh? I don't mind though. You can still move your ship, you still can use power-ups when you want to. I actually kind of like that it's automated. This game has 3 difficulties. Generally, enemy attacks are stronger on harder difficulties, and bosses have more moves and hit points. But all your power-ups carry over from difficulty to difficulty. It's best to probably not use a high-powered character on the easiest difficulty. Kinda easy. Considering this was originally a mobile game, it's actually not half bad. And I'm actually kind of surprised it took them this long to release this game for the Switch. It was only released like a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, kinda not bad. Especially on later difficulties when there's more challenge. Though on earlier difficulties, it can get kinda boring. Also, the first boss is an AT-AT. It seems like every franchise and their parents has to have a Star Wars reference in it. Honestly, I just don't have much else to say about this game. It's a pretty fun shoot-'em-up. No masterpiece, but for $2, you could do far worse than this. It's actually fun. Alright, what's next? Le Grand Legacy. Okay, this one I bought purely because they promised a lion playable character. A quick Google search of this game tells me that it hasn't really gotten the best reviews, but I don't know, let's give it a shot. Might be good. But before we talk about the game, let's look at the introduction. Huh? What do you mean I can't record the introduction? Ugh, I bet I could on the PS4. Well, long story short, the human is thrown into an arena by the lion men, who are called airmen, and he has to fight this big lug with no name. Wait, are the lions bad guys? But isn't one of the playable characters a lion? That's kind of why I bought this game. And now that I think about it, I think I saw a trailer for this game where the one playable lion character you can have on your team, you have to fight him first. Why do you always have to fight the non-human character? In the first Star Ocean game, in order to get the werewolf, you have to fight him in the arena first. Why is it always an arena? And let me guess, the Lion Man is the weakest character in the game. It always feels like the non-human character is always the worst character in the game when it comes to RPGs. Oh, alright, I'm not really giving this game a fair chance. Bad, Baalf! Bad! Alright, let's get to the gameplay footage already. Alright, there's the big dolt I have to fight in the tutorial. And there's the lame-ass human character I don't give two craps about. And then they show you the controls. And I guess this is how they teach you how to play. I guess it could be worse. Could force information on you when you just want to learn on your own. But, alright, I think I got the gist of things. Okay. Wait, how do I... Okay. Nice timing it. What the? Wait! He attacked me! Shouldn't I have attacked him? Oh yeah, good idea, guys. Pretend to give you control over the character, but don't really. This is just the tutorial. That is not how a good tutorial works. Also, can I just say, overall, the controls for the battle system don't feel natural to me. I mean, it's hard to explain, but maybe I'm just used to using the joystick to do stuff and not the D-pad. I just prefer joysticks, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It's kind of hard to explain. After the fight, a Lanista gives you to this old man, and of course he's a boring human as well, when everyone in this city except for the good characters is a lion, which really pisses me off to no end. I'm starting to feel like I've been duped. Also, the graphics look kind of familiar, that blinking arrow in the distance. It kind of reminds me of Legend of Dragoon on the PlayStation. Honestly, wasn't a fan of that game. But then again, a lot of the RPGs I loved as a kid are just ones I cannot go back to. I loved Star Ocean the Second Story when I was a kid. Now I hate the entire franchise. But that's for another time. Even equipping items is kinda confusing. Like, you can only equip 4 items at a time to the D-pad, and I've seen games do that, but still. I also love how the first sword you get in this game is a key item and not an actual equipable sword. They love doing that. Honestly, the graphics overall just feel a bit on the bland side. Maybe I'm just not a fan of these overly serious graphics, but, I don't know. And I know I'm sounding a little biased, but I think there's a lot of things with this game I think we can all agree about. Like, the first level you go through hurts you gradually. Really? That's... I know RPGs will sometimes have areas that gradually hurt you, but the entirety of the first level... And the desert is where you fight your first real battle, where you can actually damage the opponent and cast spells and whatnot. And when you get used to it, the system isn't too bad. Overall, I think I'm gonna call it and say I'm not the best person to review this game. You might want to look someone else's review up. It feels like a game you need a little bit of patience for, but overall, if I want an RPG with anthropomorphic characters, I think I'm just gonna stick with Shinus the Lightning Kingdom. Alright, what's next? Blazing Beaks? Kinda like Blazing Dragons, which was a point-and-click adventure game for the old consoles? Or specifically, a Canadian cartoon turned into a point-and-click adventure game? No, actually, this one is more like Nuclear Throne. Let's see how it stacks up. Okay, so you got a few options. You got a normal mode, a seated mode, not entirely sure what that is. You got the daily mode, which is just like Nuclear Throne, that had it too. You also got some challenges. Also, there's a tournament mode, but unfortunately it's only local multiplayer. Can't play it by yourself, can't play it online. Them's the breaks, I guess. Okay, choose your character, you unlock more as you go on. Everyone has a different starting weapon and different starting abilities. You can play the game with pretty much anyone, but the platypus is arguably the hardest because he gets the least amount of life, but he also starts out with a key. You can also pick up artifacts, and they will usually hinder you. But you can turn them into this witch doctor, and she will give you life, power-ups, gold, whatnot. The keys can be used to unlock doors, and they usually have some good goodies back there. As far as the gameplay goes, like Nuclear Throne, this is a twin-stick shooter. Use one joystick to move around and one to aim. The controls are pretty simple and easy to figure out. I had no problems getting them down. Another good thing about this game is that it's not as demanding as Nuclear Throne. I feel like I could beat this sooner than I could beat Nuclear Throne, especially since there's 3 difficulty sets. The stages aren't as spacious, you see everything on screen, and that can be useful. There's also boss fights, which you can choose to go to, or go through more levels to pick up more power-ups and whatnot. Honestly, this game seems to have a little more to it than Nuclear Throne. The artifacts add some challenge, if you want it to. There's more power-ups, the guns are all different. Honestly, this game is just, it's really fun. I don't know if I'd say I like it more than Nuclear Throne, but I can honestly say I liked it more than Toon Shooter 2. I mean, honestly, Toon Shooter 2 is okay, but this game is really fun. It's challenging, there's kind of addicting feel to it. Just overall, this is a game I highly recommend, even if you can't quite get it for $2. Alright, next game, Strike Force Kitty. Honestly, I think cats are one of the most boring anthropomorphic animals you could possibly use. Though you can make them look good, and they tried. But you know what? I bought this game because it sounded really interesting. It's like an RPG platformer hybrid, and I just had to check it out for $2. Alright, let's try this game out. Okay, so the story is kind of simple. Cats, the most overused anthropomorphic animal in media, are at war with the foxes, the most overused anthropomorphic animal among furries. Before they go against them, they gotta stock up and get stronger. They can do that several ways. They can eat food, and that gives them some strength. Or they could go to the gym and boost up their abilities, using fish as currency. Cute. Look at the little cat jump on his little trampoline. And don't forget to give your cats costumes for different abilities. I mean, look at it. We got a fire mage, we got Constantine, we got Big Daddy from BioShock, and the Mad Hatter. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And now it is finally time to fight those foxes. The game itself is kind of like a platformer RPG hybrid. And that honestly sounds interesting. And I have to honestly say, this game is complete garbage! Almost everything in this game is automated. Yeah, remember when I said RPG? That's automated. Whee! Platforming, that's pretty much automated too. You can barely control your characters. You can't control whether they go left or right. You can only control whether they jump. And to be honest, I do not like games that are on rails like this. I mean, I don't mind being a little on rails, but to this extent, to where you have almost no control over your character, I could almost forgive the simplistic platforming, but the RPG battle elements that are fully automated and give you almost no control over your character. I mean, look at this. Does that even look fun to watch? No, I didn't think so. Maybe I'm being too hard on this game, but just, I expected something way more fun from this game, and this game just feels stupid. I'm sorry, but I gotta just call it right here. Avoid this game. This is not even worth $2. Alright, I think I've saved the Baalfiest game for last. I mean, I gotta be honest, I downloaded this particular game just for this video, because this game is just so Baalf. It's the Baalfiest game of the bunch. And I could do a Baalf terminology on what Baalf means, but I think it's time I show you this game. And yeah, I can't believe I found it. Here it is. A game about fat hippos. Presenting the one and only super duper Clumsy Rush. Take control of a wide range of different fat clumsy hippos, and we got a Baalfy bunch here. A chef, a hazmat guy, a mariachi maraca dancer, a police officer, Donald Trump, Santa Claus, sumo wrestler, just so many different characters. This game is gonna be so much fun. Alright, I'm ready. Let's dive right into it. Alright, I've been giving this way too much hype, but I have to come clean. I really don't hate this game. I mean, yeah, if I'm going to be earnest, I really wasn't expecting much from this game at all. Wasn't even expecting to get any entertainment out of it. But you know what? I can see where they were going with this game. I mean, the controls are super awkward, but that's the point. That's part of the game, is working with the super awkward and challenging controls to get your hippo across the finish line. But you know what? It actually kind of feels satisfying when you finally do. I mean, I have to mention that this is not meant to be a one-player game. This is meant to be a two-player game, and unfortunately it only has local multiplayer. But, I don't know, I guess if you're a Fat Fur fan and you have another Fat Fur fan as a friend, you might get a kick out of this. It's meant to be a party game, and while I can't recommend this to many people, and it doesn't really touch the likes of Fall Guys, you could still have some enjoyment from this game. It's really not worth it for the one-player experience, because the one-player experience amounts to nothing more than just practicing the game. But you know what? I had more fun playing this game alone than I had playing Strike Force Kitty. So, it's got that. And that was Baalf's $10 shopping cart. What'd you guys think? Did you find any game that strike your fancy? I honestly really do recommend Blazing Beaks, but I wouldn't be surprised if you wanted to try out Toon Shooter 2 either. And if you got a little bit of bravery, Le Grand Legacy. But I'd still recommend not buying Strike Force Kitty. But if you don't want to listen to me, go ahead. Again, it's not a very expensive game. So maybe you'll find something in Strike Force Kitty that I did. That's what different opinions are like. But anyway, I'm Baalf, and the cave is closed.